Every Dreaming Creature is a picture book about animals, including birds, elephants, turtles, and many more. Because of its dreamlike qualities, it's a great book to read at bedtime or anytime. Welcome to the Kids Bookshelf. I'm Dan Scunner. Stay tuned as we look inside Every Dreaming Creature and talk with the author about the inspiration for it. I requested and was provided with a copy of the book, but this video is not sponsored. A little bit about the author. Brendan Wenzel is the New York Times bestselling author and illustrator of the Caldecott Honor Book, They All Saw a Cat, as well as the picture books, A Stone Sat Still, Hello, Hello, and Inside Cat. He's also illustrated numerous works for children by other authors. In addition, he's a collaborator with many groups working to protect and conserve wild places and creatures. And he joins us to talk about Every Dreaming Creature. Brendan, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Dan.
Well, describe this book for us. What are readers going to find here?
Every Dreaming Creature is a book about a chain of dreams. And it takes a look at what it might be like to be a series of animals based on this sort of rolling dream that moves from one creature to the next and explores sort of their experience in the world and how they drink things in through their senses and their sense of smell, their sense of sound. It's really a kind of continued exploration for me into what it might be like to be a little bit closer to some of the wonderful creatures we share this planet with.
And I understand that is the inspiration for a lot of your work, your love for wildlife and your interest in conservation efforts.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel very lucky and privileged to have collaborated with a lot of groups working to protect wild places and wild creatures. And it's been a passion of mine my whole life, but particularly since probably around 2008, 2009.
For what age would you recommend this book?
I'm a big advocate that picture books are for everybody. And so I never like to limit it too much, but I think with this one, probably 3 to 8, somewhere in there would be my targeted kind of demographic. Some of my favorite people on planet Earth to have conversations with are first and second graders. I'm very lucky, and I get to do school visits from time to time, and I just feel like sitting down with people of that age, they're just so open to the world, and the way that they're thinking about things is just remarkable. And so it's always nice to be able to let that book kind of be the first sentence in a conversation with a young person.
Well, Brendan, please read a portion of the book for us to give us a taste of what readers will find here.
Every Dreaming Creature. This may be my first time reading this book out loud, so this is very exciting for me. I had a dream I was a sleeping salamander. All the world was safe, snug places and a warm, wet blanket of decaying leaves. Secrets from the soil tickling my hands and soft belly. A salamander until you came with playful limbs and woke me from that dream. Then there I was, a drifting dancer flowing freely. All the world was curiosity, every new shape whirling, dancing with me. Bursts of wonder tingling down the minds of my arms. An octopus until you came with calming waves and woke me from that dream. Then there I was, a graceful giant on a journey. All the world was my swaying sisters and their stories rumbling through the bulk of me. Old paths pulling, rain clouds singing, calling us on. An elephant until you came with your wild wind and woke me from that dream.
And one of the things about picture books is that they tend to be read over and over again, and your book is designed very cleverly for that. Because what I really enjoyed is that you could read it the first time, and maybe you're just concentrating on the main subject of the picture, but then when you go back through it again, you begin to realize that the shape in that cloud in the background, or the shape of that leaf or whatever, is also the shape of an animal, which added to the dreamlike quality of the book. Like there's this lingering part of the dream that went from one illustration to the next. For example, you might see the trunk of an elephant in a cloud before you see the whole elephant in the next illustration. And the elephant image might still exist in the background even after you've moved on to the next animal dream. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, but the effect is like a lingering dream floating through the illustrations.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's absolutely what I was going for. One of the nice experiences about reading picture books now that I'm, getting a little older, is finding all these kind of hidden Easter eggs that I missed when I was younger. And I think everything you're describing, certainly I hope a young reader will notice those things. But I think one of the beautiful things about picture books is when they can kind of grow with you, and they have a lot of layers. I was just looking at the book In the Night Kitchen by Maurice Sendak the other day, which was just one of my favorite books when I was a kid. Now at 42, I'm picking up all these wonderful little things that Sendak was doing that I processed in some way when I was a first or second grader, but I can kind of have a different appreciation for now. And so, yeah, I really appreciate the comment, and that is creating those layers and creating those little corridors that a reader can kind of wander and start to ultimately ask questions. I think is one of my main goals when I'm working on a book.
At the end of the book, you reveal the child who's doing the dreaming, and their blanket is covered with animal shapes. What are you hoping kids will take from the book? I mean, obviously you have a love of animals, so what are you trying to communicate to kids about animals through Every Dreaming Creature?
Wow, it's a huge. I think the question you're asking is probably the question that I will be exploring through every book that I ever make. I think for me the question at the heart of all my books is, why are animals important? Why should these other life forms that we share this planet with mean anything to us? I mean, why, and I know that it's jumps into philosophical territory I have absolutely no business being in. But it is the thing that I've wondered about again since I was an 8-year-old staring at the bird feeder. I feel like the thing that I would love kids to take away from this book is that we are more like animals than we probably know, but also that animals are different. They are not like us. And there's a great quote from the book The Outermost House by Henry Beston, where he's kind of accounting his life living in this little house on the coast of Cape Cod, and he's talking about animals and has this it's a longer paragraph. I highly recommend everyone go look up. It's incredible. But at the end of this passage, he says, "They are not brethren, they are not underlings, they are other nations." And that has always stuck with me. And I find the idea of these other realms kind of like living right alongside of us just to be so exciting and soothing, and just there's just something about it that is like at the heart of everything that everything I explore and everything I try to make. And so, yeah, I mean, this question clearly has me kind of rambling all over the place because it's something I'm thinking a lot about. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, to treat animals with respect, and also an enormous amount of curiosity, I think is what I hope a young reader will walk away with from Every Dreaming Creature.
This picture book again is Every Dreaming Creature. It's by Brendan Wenzel. Brendan, thank you very much for talking with me today.
Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure.
If you'd like to get a copy of Every Dreaming Creature, I've placed a link for you in the description below. Well, thank you for watching this edition of the Kids Bookshelf. And if you'd like to see more videos about children's books and their authors, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified about future programs. I'm Dan Scunner. Until next time, keep sharing the gift of reading.